Welcome to the tutorial on auditing. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about the examples of fraud risk factors, which is suggested by the International Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. In the previous tutorial, we have learned the summary of fraud risk factors, and in this tutorial, we will learn about detailed examples of fraud risk factors suggested or provided by the International Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. We can see there are broadly two types of fraud which occurs in the organization. The first one is fraud due to the fraudulent financial reporting, and the next one is fraud due to the misappropriation of assets. That means fraud are committed by showing the misstatement in the financial reporting and by doing misappropriation of assets. And what are the conditions or situations which provide the scope for fraudulent financial reporting and misappropriation of assets? Those conditions can be categorized into three areas. We can see if there is an incentive or pressure for doing fraudulent financial reporting or misappropriation of assets, or if there is any opportunities for doing fraudulent financial reporting or misappropriation of assets, or if there is any attitudes or rationalizations for doing the fraudulent financial reporting and misappropriation of assets. That means these three conditions will provide the scope for fraud in the form of fraudulent financial reporting or misappropriation of assets. We can see that there is a summary of the previous slide. The risk factors relating to misstatement, what are the factors which provide the scope? Those factors arises from the fraudulent financial reporting or misappropriation of assets. And both the frauds arises whenever there is a incentive or pressure, whenever there is opportunities, or whenever there are attitudes or rationalizations. So in this tutorial, we will focus on the risk factors relating to misstatement arising from the fraudulent financial reporting. The frauds which arises from the fraudulent financial reporting. And in the first stage, we will show what are the incentives or pressures which provide the scope for doing fraud in the form of fraudulent financial reporting. As we have discussed that risk factors relating to misstatement or fraud arising from the fraudulent financial reporting arises from three conditions. The first condition, if there is any incentives or pressures. If the financial stability or profitability is threatened due to the economic or industry or entity operating conditions, then there will be a scope for fraudulent financial reporting. Here we can see some example for which there is a pressure or incentive. The first one is if there is high degree of competition or market saturation accompanied by declining margins. That means whenever the company is facing high competition or whenever the company has reached to the declining stage, in that case the management may adopt fraudulent financial reporting to show profitability. And the next one is high vulnerability to rapid changes such as changes in technology, product obsolescence or interest rates. So when the company is facing rapid changes, the management may get pressure to show the high profitability or to show stability, and that means the management feel pressure to show the stability or profitability, and for that purpose they do the fraud by doing misstatement in the financial reporting. And the next one is significant declines in customer demand and increasing business failures in either the industry or overall economy. That means whenever the demand is decreasing day by day, or whenever there is a possibility of business failures due to huge losses, these conditions also provide the pressure to the management for doing misstatement in the financial reporting. After that, we can see operating losses making the threat of bankruptcy, foreclosure or hostile takeover imminent. Whenever there is recurring losses, continuous losses, there may be a possibility of bankruptcy or insolvency. To avoid that type of unexpected situation, the management feel pressure which urge them to do misstatement in the form of fraudulent financial reporting. After that, whenever there is a recurring negative cash flows from operations or an inability to generate cash flows from operations while reporting earnings and earnings growth. That means when the company faces negative cash flows continuously, it also acts as a pressure for doing fraudulent financial reporting, which is also a factor of fraud. And the next one is rapid growth or unusual profitability, especially compared to that of other companies in the same industry. In an industry, there are several companies, and if the specific company is going through the rapid growth or unusual profitability, these conditions also indicate that the management may be adopting the fraudulent financial reporting. And whenever there is new accounting or statutory or regulatory requirements, the management may feel pressure to overcome the new accounting or statutory or regulatory requirements or rules so that they can cope up with the pressure. And in that case, they also adopt the unfair means, that means the misstatements, for doing fraudulent financial reporting. And there are some other factors which also provide pressure to the management for doing fraudulent financial reporting. We can see whenever the management face pressure to meet the requirements or expectations of third parties. So the situations which will provide pressure to the management to meet the requirements or expectation are given here, that the profitability or trend level expectations of investment analysts, institutional investors, significant creditors or other external parties, particularly expectations that are unduly aggressive or unrealistic, including expectations created by the management in overly optimistic press release or annual report message. Whenever there is a high expectations by the management or by the external parties may be the investment analyst or institutional investors or any other significant creditors. To meet that expectation, the management may feel pressure, and in that case they will adopt unfair means or misstatement to show high profitability. And the next one is whenever there is a necessity to obtain additional debt or equity financing to stay competitive, including financing of major research and development or capital expenditure. To ensure the additional debt or loan or equity, the management may feel pressure, because without meeting the expectations of the loan provider or the shareholder, the management will not get support, and that's why they will adopt unfair means for doing misstatement in the form of fraudulent financial reporting. And the next pressure we can see whenever there is a marginal ability to meet exchange listing requirements or debt repayment or other debt covenants requirements. So this is another pressure whenever there are some requirements for listing in the stock exchanges or whenever there is a conditions in the loans repayment or any other covenants or contracts or conditions. For those types of pressure, the management may adopt the unfair means for doing the fraudulent financial reporting. And the next pressure we can see the perceived or real adverse effect of reporting poor financial results on significant pending transactions such as business combinations or contract awards. That means whenever you are facing that, maybe you need to provide report on poor financial results, and if there is any adverse reaction from the particular parties, then to avoid that pressure, as a management you may also adopt the misstatement in the form of fraudulent financial reporting. After that, we can see information available indicates that the personal financial situation of management or those charged with governance is threatened by the entity's financial performance arising from the following. I mean, whenever the personal financial situation of the management is connected with the company's financial performance, in that case the management of the company tries to show good performance. What are the situations which will provide that type of incentive or pressure? We can see if there is significant financial interest in the entity, if the significant portion of their compensation, here there means the management, if the significant portion of the management's compensation, for example bonus, stock options or earn-out arrangements, if these are connected with the performance of the company, I mean if the bonus of management or if the stock options or management is connected with the financial performance of the company, in that case they will feel pressure or incentive to achieve aggressive targets for stock price or for showing positive operational results and showing good financial position or showing a positive cash flows. Whenever there is a personal guarantees of debts of the entity, I mean if the management is liable to provide the guarantee for the debts of the company, in that case they may also feel pressure for doing misstatement in the form of fraudulent financial reporting. And the next one is if there is excessive pressure on management or operating personnel to meet financial targets established by those charged with governance, including sales or profitability incentive goals. So this is also another examples of pressure, because whenever the management need to meet the financial targets, in that case they feel pressure to do misstatements in the form of fraudulent financial reporting. Now we are going to the second scope for which the management tries to do misstatement in the financial reporting, and that second factor is if there are opportunities to do misstatement, then the management will utilize those opportunities for doing fraudulent financial reporting for their personal interest. We can see these are the opportunities by which the management will utilize their personal interest, and for that personal interest they will do misstatements in the form of fraudulent financial reporting. We can see the first one is whenever there is significant related party transactions not in the ordinary course of business or with related entities not audited or audited by another firm. That means whenever there is a significant related party transactions with the other parties or other subsidiary companies, and if the other company is not audited or audited by other firm, this provide an opportunity to the management for doing fraud in the financial reporting. And the second opportunity we can see whenever there is a strong financial presence or ability to dominate a certain industry sector that allows the entity to dictate terms or conditions to suppliers or customers that may result in inappropriate or non-arm's length transactions. I mean, this is another scope or opportunity if the management has the dominance power to influence any transactions. In that case, they will utilize that opportunity to fulfill their personal interest, and they will do it by fraudulent financial reporting. And the next one is assets, liabilities, revenues or expenses based on significant estimate that involve subjective judgment or uncertainties that are difficult to corroborate. I mean, whenever the management apply the estimation, that means they are exercising the subjective judgment, and whenever there is a scope or opportunity for subjective judgments by the management, they will get opportunity or scope to fulfill their personal interest, and for that purpose they will do misstatement in the financial reporting. And the next one is significant, unusual or highly complex transactions, especially those close to period end that pose difficult substance over form questions. Whenever there is situation of complex transactions and whenever there is a situation of substance over form, in those cases the management will get opportunities for doing fraudulent financial reporting. And the next one is whenever there is a opportunity for significant operations located or conducted across international borders in jurisdictions where differing business environment and cultures exist. That means whenever the business operations are happening in the international borders, in that case the management get the opportunity for adopting fraudulent financial reporting because the general shareholders don't have access to the information for those operations in the international borders. And the next opportunity we can see the use of business intermediaries for which there appears to be no clear business jurisdiction. I mean, whenever the company is using the third parties for doing any operations, in that case there is a opportunity for doing misstatement in the financial reporting by altering or changing the real amount of transactions with the third parties. And the next one is significant bank accounts or subsidiary or branch operations in tax haven jurisdictions for which there appears to be no clear business justification. That means if any branch of the company or any subsidiary part of the company situated in a tax haven area, in that case the management will utilize this tax haven opportunity for those branches which are not entitled to get the tax haven. The management will also get the opportunity for doing misstatement in the financial reporting if the monitoring of the management is not effective. And the situations are whenever there is a domination of management by a single person or small group of person without compensating controls. And the another one is whenever the oversight by those charged with governance over the financial reporting process and internal control is not effective. For these two situations, the monitoring of the management will be poor or will not be strong, which will provide the scope or opportunity to the management for doing misstatement in the financial reporting. And there may be another opportunity whenever there is a complex or unstable organizational structure. As for example, if there is any difficulty in determining the organization or individuals that have controlling interest in the entity. Another one is whenever there is overly complex organizational structure involving unusual legal entities or managerial lines of authority. And whenever there is high turnover of senior management or legal counsel or those charged with governance. That means whenever there is a constant change in the management, then the living managers will have the opportunity to do fraud in the financial reporting because they will get scope for leaving the company after a particular period. And after that we can see the management will also get opportunity whenever the internal control components are deficient. A deficient means whenever the internal control components are not strong. As for example, we can see whenever there is an inadequate monitoring of controls, including automated controls and controls over interim financial reporting. Another one is whenever there is high turnover rates or employment of staff in accounting, information technology, or the internal audit function that are not effective. I mean, the personnel who are responsible for monitoring the accounting or information technology or internal audit function, if there is high turnover to those employees, then it also indicates that the internal control components are not functioning very well, and this will provide a scope or opportunity for the management to do misstatement in the financial reporting. And another factor is whenever there is accounting and information systems that are not effective, including situations involving significant deficiencies in internal control. I mean, if the accounting system is not so effective, that will also provide scope or opportunity to the management for adopting unfair means in doing the misstatement in the form of fraudulent financial reporting. Now we will learn about the attitudes or any rationalizations which will provide a scope for doing fraudulent financial reporting. We can see here some examples of attitudes or rationalizations which provide the scope to the management for doing misstatement in the form of fraudulent financial reporting. First one is communication, implementation, support or enforcement of entities, values or ethical standards by management, or the communication of inappropriate values or ethical standards that are not effective. I mean, whenever there is no clear communication system and whenever there is a poor implementation of policies, that type of attitudes will provide the opportunity or scope for fraudulent financial reporting. And the next one is non-financial management's excessive participation in or preoccupation with the selection of accounting policies or the determination of significant estimates. That means basically non-financial management will act as a monitoring person, but if they engage in the company excessively, this will indicate that there may be some scope or they may be doing some unfair activities for their personal interest. And the next one is known history of violations of securities laws or other laws and regulations or claims against the entity, its senior management, or those charged with governance alleging fraud or violations of laws and regulations. I mean, if the entity violates the law frequently, this indicates that the management is not performing under the required law, which also show the attitudes of doing misstatement in the financial reporting. After that, we can see the excessive interest by the management in maintaining or increasing the entity's stock price or earning trend. That means whenever the management has an attitude for increasing the stock price, that attitude indicates that the management is interested to increase the price for their personal interest. Whenever there will be a high price, they will utilize that situation. And the next one is the practice of management of committing to analysts, creditors, and other third parties to achieve aggressive or unrealistic forecast. I mean, this is the attitude by the management. They invite the third party analyst to show some aggressive or unrealistic forecast, and after that the management pursue that aggressive or unrealistic forecast, and that situation also provide the scope for doing misstatement in the financial reporting. After that, we can see the management failing to remedy known significant deficiencies in internal control on a timely basis. This is another attitude. Whenever the management is not taking any actions for any deficiencies, these situations rationalize the violation of laws by the other employees. After that, we can see an interest by management in employing inappropriate means to minimize reported earnings for tax motivated reasons. I mean, if the management has a intention to avoid the tax, that attitudes provide a indication of scope for doing misstatement. And wherever there is a low morality or principles among senior management, I mean, if the senior management are not ethical, they can do any unfair means without hesitation. And the next one is the owner manager makes no distinction between personal or business transactions. I mean, if there is no distinction between the owner manager, these attitudes also provide the scope for misstatement. And the next one is if there is any dispute between the shareholders in a closely held entity. So this type of chaos also provide the scope for the management for doing misstatement. And the recurring attempts by management to justify marginal or inappropriate accounting on the basis of materiality. We know that materiality can be applied using the personal judgment, and whenever there is a scope of personal judgment, the management will utilize those personal or subjective judgment for doing any misstatement. After that, we can see if the relationship between the management and the previous auditor is not good, that situation also indicates the scope for the management for doing misstatement in the financial reporting. We can see some examples. If there is a frequent disputes with the current or predecessor auditor, predecessor means the auditor in the previous year, if there is any dispute or conflict between the management and the current or previous auditor on the issue of accounting or auditing or reporting matters, that indicates that there is some misstatement happening in the financial reporting. There may be unreasonable demands on the auditor, such as unrealistic time constraints regarding the completion of the audit or the issuance of auditor's report. When the management provide pressure to the auditor for providing quick report, this is also the indication of fraudulent attitude in the management, because they are trying to hide some misstatement by pressuring the auditors for providing the report quickly. And the next one is the restrictions on the auditor that inappropriately limit access to people or information or the ability to communicate effectively with those charged with governance. If the auditor is not permitted to communicate with the respective person for investigating any facts, that restrictions also show the attitudes of the management that they are doing some misstatement. That's why they are not permitting the auditor for doing their work perfectly. And the last one is whenever there is a domineering management behavior in dealing with the auditor, especially involving attempts to influence the scope of the auditor's work or the selection or continuance of personnel assigned to or consulted on the audit engagement. If the management have a great influence on selecting the auditor, and if they continue the same auditor year by year, these situations also indicate that the management may be doing some misstatement, and to hide those misstatement they are selecting the same auditor by applying their domineering behavior as a management. So these are the factors which provide the scope for doing fraud in the form of misstatement in the financial reporting. Thank you.